What is up, everybody? Let's do a podcast. Hell, I got me a new intro. All right, and then I'll introduce you.
You're listening to the Ramblin' Matt Ramage podcast. Let's go!
That seemed very loud. I don't know if everybody else.
I love it.
Anyways, but there's the intro. All right, I'm joined today with Jacob. What's your last name? I forget.
Westendorf, and it's hard to pronounce. So
Westendorf. All right. No, I know it. I know it. But he's the host of the Jamal Williams show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the Jamal Williams show got Jamal in a little bit, I wouldn't say trouble, but a little bit of he was a talk of the town.
Yeah, it was, it became something way more than we didn't think, we shared the clip obviously after we said it because we thought it was funny. And we thought, we know him a little bit after getting to talk to him for the last month or so. And we were just like, okay, everybody will realize he was joking. It was not. I've thought this for years and I've learned it even more so. Tom Brady fans are the plague. Just the worst people on the planet. I hate him.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally agree. Dude, I was arguing with people on like ESPN's Instagram posts, and people were talking about, I can't believe he said that. This, and I was like, dude, they took the quote. They didn't watch the video.
Right.
Because the video, he's like petting a dog. He's sitting like an evil villain, right? But he's laughing. And what did you guys ask him to get that quote?
Okay, so before that, we were talking about he's friends with Ronald Jones, the running back for Tampa Bay. They have the same trainer, Luke Neal. And they were just talking about how when they got Tom Brady, he said, oh, Rojo, he's talking a bunch of shit. We got this new quarterback. We got Tom Brady. You guys don't, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I was like, so just to be clear, Jamal. And it was like, I thought I was being clear that I was joking with him too. I was like, whose quarterback is better, yours or Ronald Jones's? And Jamal just kind of chuckled and went, come on, man. And then he kind of went into what it was. And he made a little bit of fun of Tom Brady forgetting that there's 4 downs before you turn the ball over. So it was clearly a joke, but Brady fans have to. The thing about Brady fans with me is this. It's not that they think he's the greatest quarterback ever. It's that they need you to think that he's the greatest quarterback ever, walks on water, burps babies, and is the cause for the cure of cancer someday. He is just does no wrong, whatever, whatsoever. And like I said, Jamal was he made a joke and that's all it was. And when we talked to him yesterday before the show, that's all he said was it was a joke. And I didn't think it would happen the way that it was. But unfortunately, Brady fans ruined some of it. He had to do some different stuff with his social media and everything like that. And now it's a little less fun for some people.
Well, that's the thing. Dude, Jamal Williams is the least hateful person, in the whole, on the earth. Dude, spreads love everywhere he goes. That quote irritated me because I love Jamal Williams. He's one of my favorite humans on the planet. And that quote, nobody posted the video. Very few people. I saw that quote everywhere. I saw very few video clips of it. But dude, this is the shit that Aaron Rodgers has been talking about, with the media, of how they take something it wasn't a big thing and then they shrunk it down, but it was if you watch the video, they didn't post the video for a reason, and a lot of them didn't give Game On Wisconsin credit. So shout out to Game On Wisconsin, got the Jamal Williams show, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how you guys are doing shit for charity. But if they showed the video, then everyone would have seen that it was a joke. Dude, like I said, dude, he's sitting there petting his dog, whatever he's doing. This is a fun show. They're doing it for charity. What's the charity that you guys are benefiting for Jamal's show?
So it's Jamal's personal charity. It's called the J Swag Daddy Swag Bag Giveaway. And to date, as of 8:00 on October 21st, we've raised $4,000 in a little less than a month since we've started doing the show. So that's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. The funny part is we had a few places and it was very simple. We had a couple places. Good Morning Football reached out to us and asked if they could use the clip. And one other place in Boston asked if they could use the clip. And I didn't feel too great about that one, but all we ever said was it's fine. Use the clip. All we ask is that you bring up the fact that this show is for charity, and we gave him the link and everything like that. And to my knowledge, both places at least said that this was a charity related show. So that helped. But yeah, the part that started to bother me was when like, I don't care. We don't need credit for getting the quote. Cause like I said, that wasn't the point of the show anyways.
Yeah.
But when Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk is quoting it and saying it came from the New York Post, like it's just blatantly inaccurate. Like, I don't care that you didn't credit us, so to speak. It's just that you gave credit to a news site that had nothing to do with it and didn't even bother to like mention anything about it. So I don't know. The whole thing was just, it blew up more than we ever thought it would. And thankfully we've been able to raise some money for charity. And unfortunately it came on the heels of the Packers getting their ass whipped. So hopefully it's water under the bridge and something we can all kind of just move on from. Maybe they'll play again in the playoffs, but I can promise you if they play again in the playoffs and we have a show with him, I will not be asking him a word about anything like that.
No, yeah, dude, that shit like all week has been, dude, I was arguing with people on Instagram like all week about it, but like, dude, it wasn't like that like at all. Anyways, let's talk about this win or this loss. I'm just used to saying that. No, but dude, so much hate has been coming on the Packers like this week. Dude, Colin Cowherd. First of all, Colin Cowherd is the most flip-flopping dude. Like I don't watch him, but like if he's on TV, I'll turn it on. But most of the stuff I see is on clips. But like it seems like last week everyone's saying Aaron Rodgers MVP candidate. The Packers, will they be stopped? The offense is ridiculous. I've been yelling at myself. And as soon as they catch an L, like, dude, everyone just like turned on him. Like, dude, the hate for the Packers this week has been like an insane, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, you got to have some, and I give Cowherd credit. I don't watch his show. I never have, and I never will. But I give him credit from the standpoint of he does a 3-hour solo show every single day. You can't have a lukewarm opinion when that is your business, right? It's not like he could say, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers, the game didn't go that well. We'll see what happens this week and move on to the next topic. He'll run out of things to talk about in 5 minutes if that's the case. That being said, it is hard to take him seriously when you go from, find a weakness in this Packers team, I can't spot one, to Aaron Rodgers is a total loser. When the going gets tough, he bails. And we're completely ignoring the fact that 2 years ago against the Bears defense that finished number 1 in the NFL that season, if I'm not mistaken, Rodgers led a 20-0 comeback on a broken leg.
Yeah.
Like, to tell me this dude doesn't care or stops caring when they're losing, that's garbage. The fourth quarter comeback thing, there's so much that goes into that. And society, we give all the credit to the quarterback for everything. Here's the thing. 28-3 in the Super Bowl, right? Tom Brady, the Patriots make that huge comeback. You know what else had to happen for that to happen? The Patriots had to stop the Falcons from scoring the entire rest of the game. And they did. But we don't even talk about that because it's all about Tom Brady and he did it. Whereas if the final score of that game is 42-21, we're talking about how Tom Brady couldn't get it done. Well, actually, the way that probably would have gone is Tom Brady's defense stunk because the rules that apply to Aaron Rodgers apparently don't apply to the Golden Boy out while down there in Tampa. It would have been out there in New England. I don't like it. It's why, I don't watch those shows. I've made the joke before. I've struggled to adhere to it lately, but if you retweet Skip Bayless or Colin Cowherd or somebody like that, I automatically unfollow you. I have them dudes muted and blocked and all that shit for a reason. I don't want that garbage in my timeline. And there's so much good content that you don't have to consume that stuff. Like, there's so much good stuff that you don't have to find the drivel that is those shows.
Oh yeah. I totally agree. Cause I've been saying this like this week. It's like, there's so many people who like Cowherd and like all these guys. Like, I don't hate Cowherd. Like, I just don't watch him because he's dude, if Rodgers is doing great, he'll say it. He'll be like, yeah, Rodgers is the greatest thing in the world. But if he loses like that next week, then he'll just bury him. But like with that, like there's so many good people. Like Game on Wisconsin. Like you guys just shit out content. I don't mean to say it like, but like there's so much content, right? You got Cheesehead TV. There's so much shit. Like we don't need these big famous people or whatever you want to say it, like these people who are just thrown at us, like we don't need them anymore. Like in 2020, like you don't need like to watch FS1 or ESPN. Like there's certain people like on Twitter that you could follow to get the news, because obviously we're not in the press conferences and all that. And there's very good people that you can follow on Twitter and to watch those things. But like, dude, now in today's age, like, dude, you don't need to follow that trash. Like you could just, there's so many people covering the Packers who do it so good, and beat writers too. I'm not shit on like all beat writers, because there's so many that they do it so good. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't watch FS1 like at all. Like there's not one show, like FS1 does not come on my TV ever, because I feel like it's all trash. It's not just the Packers, but like with every team, I feel like they like this team or they hate that team, and it's just drivel to me. And I don't watch it. It just, I don't know. But dude, I'm sick of hearing like the shit that like all day long I was thinking about. I was like, I'm gonna do this show tonight. Dude, I'm so sick of hearing like Rodgers, they're praising him all last week. He's the man, the offense, not just Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, how he played against, how Aaron Rodgers played against the, without Devontae Adams, without Allen Lazard, just dominated. I get it was the Falcons. And then they're like, oh, the first good team. But here's the thing. The Vikings, when they played them, were the great team. Like everyone's like, oh, the Vikings are going to win the division. Not everyone, but there's some people saying
Vikings that was the most complete team in the division, right?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
And then after the Packers beat them, what happened? Oh, the Vikings are trash, which they are. we learned since then. But then it was, who did they play next?
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
And that was like the up and coming team.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, Detroit always got the Packers number, and then the Packers played them. What happened? Then they're like, oh, well, Detroit's trash. And then who was it before? Yeah, it was New Orleans. No, Drew Brees, baby. Like, oh, the Saints are the first test, the first real test for the Packers, and the Packers dominated. And then they're like, oh, the Saints suck. Falcons, everyone said, sucked going in. So that was like the easy game. But like that, if the Packers would have dominated the Buccaneers, everyone would be like, the Buccaneers are trash, because it doesn't matter who the Packers beat after the game, they're trash. Packers get no credit for nothing.
And you know why a large reason those teams are as bad as, especially Detroit and Minnesota, is because Green Bay destroyed them. Like those first two games, if Minnesota wins that first game of the season, they're having a different year. If Detroit is able to come in early and beat Green Bay, they're having a different year. There's so many different things. And New Orleans was the team that, Green Bay, they're not going into New Orleans and winning. They're not beating Drew Brees and Sean Payton. There's no way they can't do that. And what they do, it was a 10-point game until they kicked a garbage field goal at the end to try and get an onside kick. Green Bay won that game, and it never felt like it was something they were not in control of. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if Matt LaFleur pissed in somebody's Cheerios. I don't know if it's because Aaron Rodgers doesn't necessarily have some nice things to say about the people that cover the team all the time. Although you can see Rodgers likes, or he'll do things with people he respects. He's on the Pat McAfee show. That's not, McAfee's part of the media now. I know he used to be a player, but he's done interviews with Kyle Brandt and guys from The Ringer, and he does things. It's just when you talk about he's talked about this for years, the shock jock shows that we're talking about, I can't blame him one bit for being upset with some of the things he's talking about. And you've got people, think of it this way, Matt, you've got some family issues and they come to light on national television the way Rodgers did. And you have people debating on national television, on ESPN and Fox Sports, about how maybe you're playing poorly and you need to call your parents, and because you're estranged from your family, like stuff that's none of our goddamn business, quite frankly. Can you imagine having that debated? Why the hell would I trust anybody like that?
Oh yeah. And like, there was a story that came out. I forget who wrote it. It said, basically it was saying, now we get why Jordan Love got drafted after Rodgers' stinker. Like those stories, like I called it trash on Twitter. I was like, dude, I don't mess with clickbait, and I get, dude. I'm starting to understand even that press conference with Aaron Rodgers. I forget who asked the question, but there were some terrible questions because I get being like Aaron Rodgers needs to be held to a high standard, and he says the same thing. Like, dude, he didn't play well. The Packers did not play well on Sunday. That's obvious. But like the questions they ask, they're just looking for a clip. They're looking for like a reaction. It's like, I think someone asked, did teams figure you out? And he's like, 1 in 5 teams figured me out or figured the offense out. Obviously, they did. The Buccaneers played great. Their defense played great. They had our number. But like, dude, like it's not the end of the world. Like it's one loss. It's one loss. And like people, like even fans, media, whatever, everyone's losing their mind. And I get it. It was the first, like people say, it's the first real team that the Packers played. But it's only the real team the Packers played because we lost. If the Packers win that game, everyone's calling Tampa Bay trash because they were 3-2. If the Packers win and win handedly, like they did most, the rest of the season, the Buccaneers go to 3-3. Everyone says the Buccaneers are trash. Packers would get no credit for that. So, like, I don't know. I just think it's overreaction. That's what it is. If they would have won like 45-10 or like the score was reversed, everyone would be saying, "Oh, the Packers Super Bowl, this and that," And then if they lose to the Texans, it would have been like the same reaction. Like, I'm not worried because the Packers schedule gets easier, and everyone can say what they want. Like, "Oh, the Packers haven't beat anyone, this and that," but like they have some easy people. They're going to get healthier. They're going to get better, and I think their record is going to improve a lot. And I'm not sure the Buccaneers are going to be a threat come playoff time. They might be, it depends how they play. And especially with like the COVID shit, like who knows who's going to be available, who's not. So like, they got their ass beat. And I'll admit it. Like people call me a homer. Like, yeah, I am a homer. Dude, I'm the biggest homer ever. Dude, I will defend the Green Bay Packers like I defend my mother. All right. You talk shit about the Packers, but they lost. And they deserve to lose. I mean, the Buccaneers played better, but like, the sky isn't falling.
No, and we act like that the Super Bowl can be won in February. I mean, Matt, you were around, obviously. They won the Super Bowl 10 years ago. And when they did, they lost in October to a really bad Miami team at home. They lost to Washington on the road. They lost both of those games by field goals. They had a 19 penalty game against the Bears that year. They lost to Detroit on the road. They scored 3 points in Detroit while Rodgers got concussed, left the game and everything like that. That team won the Super Bowl. And then you see the following year, obviously, they go 15-1. They blow through the regular season. And what happens in the playoffs? They're one and done. Like people act like the Super Bowl is won at one point. Kansas City last year was not as good in October as they were in February. And I agree with Kenneth right here. The Packers normally win a lot of games. And that's why when they lose one, it's almost like, here's my opportunity to talk a little bit. And my buddy Ross over at Packer Report says it all the time that like, they're still 32 of 32 when it comes to markets. And I think there's some thoughts in the back of these reporters and media members' head that I don't want to travel to Green Bay, Wisconsin in the middle of January or February or whenever the playoffs are played this year to cover a playoff game because it's really freaking cold in the middle of February in Green Bay. Why would I want to be at a game that's in the middle of below zero when I could be in Tampa when it's 60 degrees? Like there's so much happening. There's so many things that'll change between now and January when the playoffs start. Very rarely is the best team in September also the best team in January. There's a lot of different things that'll change. And maybe they'll see Tampa Bay again and they'll get another chance at some redemption.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you look at that Super Bowl 45 team. Like, dude, nobody thought. I did not think the Packers were going to Super Bowl that year. Like, dude, there were so many injuries. There's so much things happen. Like, dude, the Green Bay Packers' best teams did not win a Super Bowl. Like, I mean, Super Bowl 31, that was a great-ass team. But, like, with Rodgers, like, dude, he had so many great teams that just didn't do it. So, like, you never know. Like, dude, I always have faith, dude. I'm the most positive Packer fan of all time. And people got mad at me like this year or this week because I was like, well, you know, it's a loss. Like, why can't you just be negative for one day? Like, they got their ass whooped. They got this and that. I'm like, dude, like, it's one game. Like, no, they go on a 3-game streak where they just, if they lose to Houston next week, which is not going to happen. Like, dude, people like, love saying this aged well because I don't delete any posts. Like on Instagram, I don't delete shit. Like if I talk shit, I made a post and I said the Buccaneers will be 3-3. Like, and dude, if go on Instagram and read those comments, people are filling them up. Like those, and I'm like, dude, I don't delete posts. I'll even comment back and be like, yo, I was wrong. I don't know. I wouldn't say I was wrong. I'll be like, that shit happens, dude. Like, you're gonna have a flaky game dude. First of all, like, how many people said the Packers go 14-2, 13-3, 12-4? Well, how do you get to 13-3 without losing a game? You know what I mean? So, like, I won't take credit. I think Maggie Loney, or what's her name?
Maggie Loney. Yep.
All right. I don't want to butcher her name. She said that. I saw it on Twitter, but that's so true. How do you go 13-3 without losing a game? Nobody thought the Packers were going to go 16-0, even though I predict the Packers to win every week. But, like, I know the Packers ain't going 16-0. But that offense is so good. I think it'll get right back on track. I'm not concerned. Dude, I'm jacked for the season still. Like, I had Alex on here for the post-game show, Alex Strofe from Game On Wisconsin. And we were talking about, like, dude, everything gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still jacked. I'm a little buzzed up too.
I can't see why you wouldn't be though. Like, why would one game completely ruin my excitement for what they've done through? Because honestly, if you think about it, I bet you if you polled all these people that were pissing and moaning about, oh man, well, we're gonna lose, or I'm so mad that we lost, blah blah blah. If you had polled these people at the beginning of the season, said after the Tampa Bay game, so after 5 games, what do you think Green Bay's record is going to be? I would bet you a vast majority would say 3-2, 2-3, but I'm going to guess a lot of them weren't going to say 4-1 or 5-0. And it's funny to me when people at the beginning of the season, you predict that they're going to lose a game, and I would bet you a lot of people probably thought they were going to go down to Tampa and get beat. You predict that they're going to lose that game, so you're kind of expecting that anyways. And then when they do lose, you act like that a zombie apocalypse just happened.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because most people I talked to, like before the season, they were all saying, well, they're going to lose that game to Tampa. Everyone expected Tampa to be better than they are record-wise. So it's like I don't know. But I actually want to ask you this. Everyone's been talking about this today.
No.
Yeah, and my answer is hell no.
No.
Because dude, the receiving group is not the issue. Like, obviously, last week, but I still don't think it's the receiving. There's no time. Bakhtiari got hurt. The offensive line just did not hold up like it normally does. And like I said, people ask me, like, what do we have to do to beat Brady, to beat the Buccaneers offense? You got to get in his face. We didn't do that, but the Buccaneers did get in Rodgers' face. I don't care who the quarterback is. Could be the greatest quarterback of all time or Mitch Trubisky. If you get in his face, they're not going to play well because look at the Giants, how they won the Super Bowls against Brady. What they do, defensive line got in his face. They didn't get in Brady's face, so Brady had time. And Brady didn't have a killer game. Brady didn't have like a, Hall of Fame game like he has many times before.
No, my guy at Locked On Packers, Peter Bukowski, said after the game, if I had told you that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were basically non-factors and that Brady threw for 160 yards, you would have probably told me that the Packers won 38-10, right? It was just kind of a weird game. It's like, what is it Rodgers said after the game? That shit happens. Like, it's football. Shit happens.
It does. And that's the thing. Like, when Rodgers threw the pick six, which doesn't happen, like Rodgers, I think that's his 3rd pick six in his career, if I'm right.
Second in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And Brady threw 2 this season. I'm not saying like that means anything. I like Brady. Like, first of all, people always say, people have been saying, "Oh, you're a Brady hater." Like, I actually like Brady. I think he's a good dude. I follow him on Instagram. He seems like a nice guy, but not last week.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah, because dude, I'm really not a Brady hater. Like, I think he's a good dude. And they're friends. That's why I think that it's funny because fans will go nuts. I hate Brady or I hate Rodgers and that, but they are friends. They're a lot of quarterbacks are. I don't know. Let's see what okay, what about this? Let's talk about this. Rodgers made some comments on the Pat McAfee show about Sue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what they were because I was sober then. But dude, there's definitely because he was saying that he kind of expected to meet him after the game, not to fight, because Rogers made it clear that I'm not trying to fight this dude. But like they were comparing to like Brett Favre, Warren Sapp type of thing. But that was love, I think. Maybe not at the beginning with Favre and Warren Sapp, but they ended up becoming friends. I'm not sure Sue and Rodgers can become friends because he took some dirty hits over the years, not just on Rodgers, but his teammates.
Oh, and Rodgers talked about that. He was like, he had the 1 year and he was being very sarcastic about it. He's like, oh yeah, he had the frozen feet, stepped on my calf because he didn't know what that was injured. He stomped on one of my teammates. He ended up talking about how good of a player he is and blah, blah, blah. But you can tell when those guys play each other, they don't like each other. And that's fine. I kind of like that personally. I understand and I respect the idea that most of these guys have either played with each other to some degree and they're all friends. But I kind of like that old school, I hate you in the middle of the game or something like that. Because these are two teams that are fighting, for a playoff positioning, maybe a Super Bowl type of appearance. I want there to be that dislike. I loved it when Rodgers and Richard Sherman would go back and forth between the two of them. That stuff was fun because it's like, as a fan, you want to have a reason like to hate the other dude's best guys, right? Like you want to be like, yeah, man, forget that dude. Like I hate him too. It kind of sucks when you're like, man, I just kind of like him. Like he's a cool guy. Like,
yeah, like next week when the Packers play the Texans, I like JJ Watt. I love JJ Watt. I love JJ Watt. JJ Watt to me is Wisconsin. So like next week I won't because like I'll take a temporary time off from loving me some JJ Watt because I don't want him to hit my quarterback. But like I love that. Like Brian O'Larkin one time said, I hate the Packers. Like, oh, I love that shit. People are all mad. Like, I can't believe he said that. Like, he plays for the Bears. Why wouldn't he say that shit? Dude, Brian Urlacher, I respect him, but like I hate him at the same time. Sports-wise, because people get it confused. Like when I say I hate a guy, I don't hate him personally. I'm not wish bad at his family. Like, dude, this is all sports. Like, dude, but I love that Brian Urlacher hates the Packers, and I love that Warren Sapp, Brett Favre, like in your face, boom. You know what I mean? Like that. Dude, rivalry should mean something. I thought it was interesting that Rodgers mentioned that the Lions, he felt like that rivalry is more than
which makes sense because Sue was there.
Yeah.
And Kyle Vandenbosch, who we talked about on the show too, is just kind of off. And with Jim Schwartz there, they're the perfect little brother team, right? Like, but they're kind of like the scrappier little brother, not like the Vikings, because the Vikings have little brother syndrome too, obviously.
Yeah.
But the Lions are a little scrappier about it. Like,
oh yeah, they come ready.
I'm the little, like, there's the little brother who just like kind of cowers into a ball when you stand up back to him. That's the Vikings. And then there's the little brother who that when they fight, they kick you in the nuts. That's the Lions.
Yeah. All right. So I know that you have to get going because you have your own show, but check out Jacob Westendorf.
Yeah,
right?
You got it.
The Jamal Williams show every Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. on Game on Wisconsin. And if you can't find Game on Wisconsin, message me, tweet me, whatever you got to do. I'll send you a link. The Game on Wisconsin does great stuff. They got the Jamal Williams show. They got a lot of good stuff. So I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I appreciate you having me. And I hope you remember when you're sober that you said you were stopping by our post-game show on Sunday. So I'll see you then.
I will be there, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
What is up, Mr. Josh Moser? I got Josh Moser in the building, baby.
What's up, brother?
Are you drinking? Are you drinking?
No, unfortunately, coffee. So,
all right.
Baseball fans, we got the World Series on Fox 11. So the news is after the baseball game. So decided to pop home for a little bit and watch it from here. And got to pop back to the news station here a couple innings.
There we go. So Josh Moser taking time out of his day watching the world. I thought you were chugging like a 40 ounce for a minute. I was like, whoa.
Man, it's been a while since I've had a 40. Little Edward Scissorhand days, man. You got to go back like, man, that's 10 years plus.
I remember those days. Edward, the duct tape over on the floor.
Long time ago. Everybody had one of those nights. If you didn't, there's still time.
There's still time. Hey, I'll do it right now. I don't have a 40, but I'm drinking my beer. All right.
So you got your Packers helmet. We're good to go.
We're good to go. All right, let me get this drink, and I'm gonna ask you some questions. This is some hardball questions, all right? All right, no, I appreciate your time. So obviously, like last week, that was a rough game to watch. Like that was tough. So, is there any good news? Like, I heard Lazard is like somewhat appearing in practices, like he's stretching or whatever. So, what can we expect from Lazard? Like, is there a timetable at all on him, or is it just kind of a?
There is. So he's got a couple more weeks. So you have to be on the IR for at least 3 weeks. So he's getting close. And you really got to look at this as 4 quarters in a season. You always break it down by 4 games. So now you're in the second quarter, if you will. Right now you're 4-1. Realistically, you've got the Bears. You still play them twice, so you're good. But you want to be healthy and playing your best football in November and December. So right now you're going up against a Texans team that's struggling on the road, and you want to come out of there as healthy as possible. This is a game that you should win. David Bakhtiari, to me, though, when you talk about injuries, he's the biggest question mark. Arguably the best left tackle in the league, dealing with a chest injury. Matt LaFleur hasn't talked much about it. It's only Wednesday, though, so it's early. Tyler Irvin's still dealing with that wrist. Hopefully they get him back, but it's real early. There we go. My Edward Forty hands. Bring it in. Yeah.
I got those questions.
Appreciate that. It's been
He knows.
Woof. That next day though, that stuff runs through you, man. That's a rough morning on the back end there.
Dude, I remember, like, I'll just tell the story real quick because there was a guy that used to live down the street from me. I was like 19, 20. I just moved in with my wife. We just started dating or whatever. We just moved in together. And this guy down the street was like, hey, if you ever want a 40, you buy me a 40 and I'll buy you whatever you want. I was like, all right, cool. So we used to go to this guy's house and just have him buy us 40 ounces, and we would just get hammered. I forget how old we were, like 18, 19. I just met my wife. Or I didn't just meet her. I just moved in with her. And
lockdown early. Nicely done.
Dude, I'm like a good NFL team. Like, you know what you want? You got to sign them early, long term.
That's right. Your first round pick. Locked her up. I love it.
No, but so you mentioned
you got to show her that.
I will. She doesn't watch my shit, so I can say anything about my wife I want.
Dangerous double-edged sword right there. Good luck.
Yeah, her friends might watch, but they'll be telling like he mentioned you on the podcast. No, but what about David Bakhtiari? Like, what do we like? I haven't heard like you mentioned they're very close to the vest with it, but during the game I ain't gonna lie, I was hammered. Like, people always ask me, like, what do you think about the third quarter of this play? I'm like, I was drunk as shit. I don't watch film like that. You know what I mean? Like, I watched the game. First of all, in a loss, I'm not rewatching that. But, like, what is the injury? And, like, what do you think is, like, what do you think?
Well, they said chest, and, it's Wednesday. And, after knowing David Bakhtiari for 5 years, that guy's a warrior. And, I mean, he plays through so much stuff. And for him to come out of the game one says a lot. Greetings from South Texas. Go, Pack, go.
Appreciate there we
go. So we're talking about practice to Wednesday. Sunday's a long way away. And you know that he wants to be out there. So I'd be very curious to see where we are later in the week. But he's going to go. But, I mean, that's Aaron Rodgers' blind side. And you can't have a situation that you had last week with J.J. Watt on the edge this week. I know Watt has struggled this year a little bit, but, I mean, he's the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. And, man, Dodgers just can't get anything going right now. But, you got to keep Aaron Rodgers upright, and we've seen him get out of the pocket. That's where he's been magical and kind of these off-scripted plays. So, I don't know. I mean, you're worried about keeping Rodgers healthy. But if you look at this stretch, these next 4 games, I believe it's this game. You've got the Vikings. You've got the Jaguars coming up. So in San Francisco on that short week. So these are winnable games. And realistically, I mean, you want to get to 7 wins here in this next stretch. And I think they can do that. And they can go 3-1. And then you're looking, realistically at 7-2 through 9 games. And, that's sitting pretty. Goal is to win the division. And then, hopefully more from there. And as we've talked about, only 1 bye this week with the new playoff format. So, we'll see what happens, but it's week to week with injuries. That's the NFL, and the roster changes so much. And we'll see what Goody can do. They have a little bit of cap money. I'm curious to see if they get these deals done. Kevin King would be great to get back. He was limited in practice today. So there you go. Chris, yeah, exactly. I'm with you. He's a big piece. And I'm really curious to see if they sign him long term. If you look at the history, they let corners walk. Casey Hayward, Micah Hyde, even though he's a kind of hybrid safety. So I'm curious to see if they keep King on a big-time deal with Bakhtiari needing to get signed, Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Corey Lindsley. It's a big free agent class, but got to get through January, hopefully into February, and then they can figure all that stuff out.
So what's up with King?
What?
Is he going to be out long term?
He was limited in practice today. I did not go to practice today. So we just kind of have a little bit of information from and LaFleur talked before practice. So they're going to keep it close to the vest. But I mean,
yeah.
He's a piece. We'll know later in the week. I think you get a better feel. But now with these Zoom interviews, it's different because in the past you could go in the locker room, you can talk to whomever you wanted. Now the Packers are like, okay, you get this guy, and they definitely have a little bit of method to their madness. But I definitely miss going inside the locker room. And to me, that's my favorite part of the job. It's just getting in there and
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I wanna throw this one up here. Josh, would you watch a live stream with me and Matt doing Edward 40 hands?
I'd tune in for that. We could chat.
No, I definitely want. I might have to do that. I might have to do that. And
should do it in a hot tub in front of Lambeau. Get it sponsored by Miller Lite. Figure it out, and make a big thing out of it. Donate some money to charity. Turn into a big event.
Yo, Cheesehead TV has that house across the street. Maybe I'll link up with them.
Yeah, get Nagler. Let him do something. Come on now. Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, I got Banky coming on my show next week.
Nice, man. You're just lining it up. Ramage doing some damage.
Ramage doing some damage. So, is there anything else that you can tell? Any breaking news that you just want to push on my show?
Ooh. Well, I mentioned that Aaron Jones moved into Tramon Williams' house, so that means Tramon is most likely not coming to the Packers now. That
is interesting, though. Besides, I love Tramon Williams. Everyone loves Tramon Williams, but that's probably not going to happen. He's not going to come back. But just the fact that Aaron Jones moved into his house. I moved in to my mother-in-law's house one time, and I thought that was weird. So, so Aaron Jones moves into Tramon Williams' house. I wonder if he's looking for a roommate. I mean, I'm married, but I could convince her.
I mean, you're gonna have to talk to his parents that are there. Alvin, his brother, is there in town working out. His girlfriend Crystal. He's got new baby boy Aaron Jones Jr. So Burgess, his mom, man, she's fun though. That's a fun.
Yeah.
family.
So you're saying it's not gonna happen for me?
So you're saying there's a chance. You never know.
So I want to ask you this. Have you heard, I talked about it with my last guest because he's one of the hosts of the Jamal Williams show.
Yeah.
So you've seen these quotes, right? What he said about Brady.
Yeah, my quarterback, knows what fourth down is from last week.
Have you seen, do you follow Game on Wisconsin?
A little bit. I might have missed it.
Yeah, so what it was is this video, they do a Jamal Williams show. It's for charity. That they have a GoFundMe. They raise money for Jamal's charity. I think it's Coat for Kids kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they raised $4,000 doing this show.
Okay.
But that video of when he made that quote, he's sitting back in a chair. He's petting this little dog he's got, because Jamal Williams is not hateful. And then they asked him, I think what is it? Ronald Jones?
Ronald Jones?
Yeah. That's his guy over on the Bucks.
Yep.
Him and Jamal are friends. So they asked him, who has the best quarterback? They're joking, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then Jamal said, I know my quarterback knows when it's fourth down.
Yeah.
But he's petting a dog and laughing as he says it. And then ESPN and everyone picks it up and they kind of make it into a big thing.
Yeah.
But
it's out of context. And we see this more and more happen, especially with the Colin Cowherds of the world and, people looking for a headline. And there's a way to do journalism and then there's a way not to do it. And when you start getting that clickbait type stuff, teach their own, but I mean, I know the way that I want to do it and that's the way I'm going to continue to do it. And, it's unfortunate when situations like that happen. And, but at the same time, if you're Jamal Williams, maybe any publicity is good publicity. I'm all for having fun and, doing it the right way, but, you want to set it up right and you don't want to mislead anyone. And that's where, I feel like journalism's needed, especially in this age where, anybody can do a podcast, anybody can do a blog, and you can spout off all your opinion. And, I feel like at the end of the day, people really want truthful information, and I'm all for having fun and doing it, but you don't want to put somebody, words in someone's mouth. And I can tell you when you talk to the athletes, and if you make something up about them and they find out about it, they remember that. They're petty.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's their brand. It's everything to them. So, we'll see. But Jamal's got a good sense of humor. And, I'm sure if the full clip was shown, he knows what he said. And I don't think he's reading too much into it. And, again, it's a talking point for 3 days. And now it's on to the Texans. And Bucks are on to whomever they're playing this next week.
Yeah, because I trash the media a little bit. But when I do, like, you know how many tweets I deleted because of you? Because I don't want people to think that I'm trashing all the media. Like you,
Bring it.
People like you, there's a lot. First of all, not just you, but there's a lot of good media. 99% of the media is good. Like not most of the guys are good. But when they take clips like that, it drives me nuts. It drives me at the wall because, like, dude, I just it pisses me off.
Interesting. So technically, from like when you're part of a network, you have to adhere to NFL video rights. So a lot of these television shows, what they're doing now is instead of providing all of these video clips, they're just doing commentary because they can't put the video online because the NFL owns the rights to it. So we're getting these quote unquote, talking heads, opinion guys. You'll find former players and they just go back and forth to say crazy stuff. Like, Shannon and, you know who they are. Skip Bayless.
Yeah, dude, Skip Bayless. Dude, he drives me.
Stephen A. Smith, good dude. I mean, that dude is the highest paid guy at ESPN. I think he's making
I actually like Stephen A. Smith, and not just because he's a big Aaron Rodgers guy, because a lot of what he says I don't agree with. But dude, I like him. I like his energy. First of all, I like anyone that has energy. Like Skip Bayless is the old man. He throws stuff in the trash. First of all, when he always throws those cowboy hats in the trash? That trash can's not really there. There's a microwave. He lives in like a $20 billion house. He's got like a microwave in his counter on the. Anyways, but let's talk some basketball real quick before I let you out of here, because I know you want to watch a baseball game. Yeah. But like Giannis, I get a lot of people talking shit to me lately. Giannis is leaving Milwaukee, dude. Trade this and that. Like, is Giannis getting traded, and is he staying in Milwaukee if he doesn't?
Well, so he's got 1 year left on his deal before he can get the Supermax, which is right in the neighborhood of $250 million. I can only imagine. I don't even know what that amount of money would be like. It really, management has told him that they're willing to spend into the luxury tax to bring in another piece. And, we've seen in recent years that you need 3 pieces to win. And the Lakers did it with 2 of the top 5 players in the league, and it's the bubble situation. So I think once the Bucks hit the bubble, like, they just weren't the same team. So I think if this were a normal season, I think the Bucks are going to be champions. I don't know if, Middleton's the guy. They definitely miss Malcolm Brogdon. I heard that they were interested in going after Boban. So we'll see. I think you need some ESPN, man. Those are some sexy letters right there. Those are good 4 letters. But, I don't know. I think Milwaukee's a basketball town, but it's the smallest market in the NBA, and it's hard to compete against teams like LA, for a baseball reference, the movie Moneyball, with the Oakland A's. I think that someone can relate to. That's what you have to do, even as the Brewers with David Stearns, and they got to do a little bit of that in Milwaukee. But Giannis is the best player on the planet, and it's hard to not justify spending whatever you can when you got a guy like that, because the goal is to win championships. And if you're not going to spend the money, then you're not there to compete for championships. What are you doing? And
and I agree with that. It's like, but dude, like, I'm not a big basketball guy. Like, I support all Wisconsin teams, like, always. But like, I'm like even a Brewers. Like, I'm not a big Brewer. I'm the most fair weather Brewer fan ever. I'm not a bandwagon because I don't jump. If I watch baseball, I'm watching the Brewers. But like, I don't really watch until they start doing good. Because like, not with football, with the Packers, I don't miss a Packer game. I'll call in sick. I'll do what I got to do. But like with baseball and basketball I'll watch because my kids are really big into it. So, but I don't want Giannis to leave. Like, dude,
No one does.
they gotta figure it out. They gotta figure it out. Get them some help. Like, I agree. I think if it was a regular season, the Bucks would have been in position to win the championship. But like, it's weird. I think a lot of it just comes off like the feeding of
Pfizer was rocking. I mean,
yeah,
they should have won that series in the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago. I was there for all that. Pfizer is a special place, but you got to close out those games. And then obviously with all the injuries, Golden State fell apart. They would have been NBA champs when Toronto won. But they had the experience back. That was the team. So we'll see. And I'm curious with the late start. Been hearing NBA is going to start, kind of right around Christmas time instead of the normal, last week of October, first week in November. So it's, COVID, weird times. I'm just grateful that we have sports, that we got stuff going on and we get to do stuff like this. And, we're not sitting here watching reruns of MASH.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I like MASH, Josh. Don't you come on my show disrespecting MASH.
I've seen it. You've seen them all 100 times. Same with
I know.
Great, but I mean, how many more times can you watch The Office?
Yeah. First of all, Office is great too. You're naming them.
Great.
Hey, I want to ask you one last question. I'm gonna throw this comment up here, and then I'll let you get back to your baseball game.
Yeah.
All right. Someone's got to go. What's your biggest tip for someone going into journalism? Not me. Someone good.
Oh, you're great. What are you talking about? My biggest tip. My biggest tip is definitely be yourself. Don't try to be anyone else. You have to be authentic. And credibility is all you have as a journalist. So be truthful, do the right things, and continue just to reach out to people. Start something like this, start an Instagram account. And remember, when you start on social media, you remember to do social media with the idea in mind that you're doing social media for the job that you want, not the job that you currently have. So if you're a student in college, I don't want to see any red cups. We all were there. We talked about Edward 40 Hands. We can share those stories, but that doesn't need to be presented in public. So do your social media for the job that you want and try to get to know athletes. Try to formulate your own opinions and just start, man. It started me holding like a hairbrush, talking in front of a mirror, something like this, before there were even, cell phones like this. Back in the old flip phone days with a razor and all that. I know some of you hopefully know what I'm talking about. And then just get started and then continue to reach out to people and just start building a Rolodex. And then eventually you'll put together a resume tape or clippings of things that you've written. You just got to get started and just start doing it and reaching out to people. And it's like an inverted pyramid. The more you do it, the more that you will grow and the more resources that you'll have. I mean, shoot, Matt, I remember when you first started out, and we threw you on as a ref at the, green and gold charity softball game as an ump. And
I did horrible.
No, you did great. But I mean, think about all the experiences you've had. And
oh, no. I totally agree with that. No, I totally agree with just start. So, but you mentioned no red Solo cup. So you're saying that I'm out as a journalist because I get drunk most of the time.
No, see, you're in this awesome niche, where you can play the drunk Wisconsinite and tell people to drink Wisconsinably and, stare at them with one eye and put the zebra stripes on and, throw challenge flags. I'm here for it all. I would love to do that. Well, I can't be that guy. I would love to be Bob Menery and talk about the shitbag titty fuck of the week, but I can't say that on TV.
No, that's the thing with me. Dude, I just have fun. I'm not trying to be Josh Moser. I'm not trying to be whatever.
Right. You got to be you.
Yeah, a lot of these guys. There's so many great professional people who cover the Packers. People always tell me oh, you cover the Packers. No, I don't cover the Packers. I cover the people covering the Packers. And I have the smart people like you come on my show.
That's the best part.
And I drink beer.
Going back to the kid, when I was in college, I was a college athlete. And, when I was done, it's how do I maintain this identity? It's just who I was, but the sooner you realize that you're a journalist and you need to know your audience and you're not, the players are going to be the players. And for me now, I'm 33. A lot of the NFL guys are younger than me now. And, as fun as it is to talk about Fortnite and Netflix and Tinder, whatever, that's not me, I can't, anymore. And so it's really about the people that you get to meet, the experiences that you have. And, as you realize, as much as you love these players and it's great to interact with them, the Packers are always going to be the Packers. And we've seen how many people wear number 87? It's weird seeing Jay Sternberger out there. I mean, you think Jordy Nelson, and and it's about the people that you watch the games with and the memories you have at the tailgate and the food that you get to eat. And if the Packers win, while you do remember the game, it's also like, oh man, I was sitting there with Matt when I watched Rodgers throw his 900th touchdown, and you'll have that moment forever. And the players will be with the players, and even the media. There's a separation, but it's about basically the people. My favorite story, real quick, before I get out of here, there's a family I met, and they had 5 generations of people in their basement. So obviously Wisconsin people, have kids early, early 20s, sometimes earlier. But
yeah,
5 generations. So from 6 months up to 75 years old. And there's 30 of them all watching football on a Sunday, watching a Packer game. I would live for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We can't replicate that.
But what you said about it's about the memories. I was at 4 games last year, and it was 4 wins. I don't remember the games, the play wise as much. They were all wins, by the way.
Yeah.
But Preston Smith's family came and found me. His brother recognized me, and he was like, "Yo, you're Matt Ramage." And then his mom was there, and she's like, "Thank you so much for supporting my son." And I was first of all, I was hammered. I was drunk as shit. And I'm talking to Preston Smith's mom, so I'm trying to act normal. I'm like, "Oh, hello, ma'am." And no, but it's not even just because it's Preston Smith's family, but people that come and say, "Hey, can I take a picture of you?" People come up and "Hey, I bought you a beer. I bought you nachos." They recognize me.
Are you a local celeb, man?
Dude, that is what it is for me. Meet all the people, all the Packer fans I tailgated with. People are "Hey, you want to drink a beer over here?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." Man, so that's what it's about.
I mean, I don't even remember what game it was, but I remember coming and finding you in the stands, and we sat for a quarter, drinking some beer. It was a great memory. I couldn't tell you who they were playing, what sport it was, what, but I mean, I remember, me and you just chilling in the stands, taking in a game, and that's what it's all about.
I got a selfie of that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I did not look good in that selfie.
It's a moment, and hopefully many more to come.
No, for sure. No, that's what it's about. It's not just the football. It's about the whole atmosphere, the people you meet, all this shit. Family, fans, I love it. Hey, I appreciate taking time. I'm going to let you get back to your baseball game. I know you got to get back to work.
I got to jet back to the station. So Fox 11, everybody in Green Bay area, is going to be on right after the World Series. We're going to talk a little Packers. We'll hear from Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to do a little high school game time. We got a little big game this week, West Appear and Xavier. So we'll get you updated.
Everyone local, Fox 11. He's a Fox 11 sports record. The Mo's knows on all his socials. If you need a link, hit me up. I don't have no banners because I'm not really good at this podcast thing, and I'm all over the place.
Hey, keep drinking and sleep well, man. It's a great.
I gotta work at 3:45 in the morning. I'm a baller, Josh. All right, Fox 11, everyone. Check out my man, the Mo's knows. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Anytime, man.
Have a good night. All right, so everybody, this is a kind of a wild ass little podcast. But if you missed the earlier, we had a chat with Jacob Westendorf, I think his name is. This will be live on my podcast tomorrow. But appreciate Jacob stopping by. Shout out to Game On Wisconsin. Shout out to Josh Moser, Fox 11 sports director. So tune in to Fox 11 night after the World Series. I didn't know the World Series was on. I'm not a big baseball guy. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Let me crack this beer. I'm a little buzzed up. You guys got any questions before I end this thing? This is going to be on my podcast tomorrow. Hey, shout out to Mark Deaton. All right. Great podcast. I'm not sure if it was great. I had some great guests, though. It's funny because, I had a podcast planned, and then I get to drinking. Guests didn't line up the way I thought they would, but I got to get better at preparing my shit. I really do. But I got Corey Benke jumping on the podcast from Cheesehead TV. First of all, let's do some shout outs here. Let me give a little quick shout out. Shout out to Cheesehead TV. Shout out to Corey Benke, Aaron Nagler. You guys know, came on my podcast wall a little bit back. Corey Benke's going to jump on next week. Dude, I love me some Corey Benke because he calls out people. Corey Benke will call out people from the media that do shady shit, clickbait shit. So shout out to Corey Benke. All right. I'm having my podcast next week. We're gonna drink some beers and we're gonna do some shit. All right. Shout out to the Drew Cave on Instagram. Shout out to Senior Cheesehead, the Green Bay guy, my boy. You know, dude, I just gotta give some shout outs. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Alex Strofe. Shout out to Alex Strofe. Someone said that. Shout out to Alex Strofe. Dude, Alex Strofe is my favorite people. All right. He's one of my favorite people to talk football with. I love me some Alex Strofe. He's another member of Game On Wisconsin. Game On Wisconsin does some great shit. All right. They do some great shit. Dude, they're working that shit. Let me drink this beer and we're going to get the hell out of here. Who else do you guys want to give a shout out to? We're going to do Edward 40 Hands. Mark Deaton wants to do Edward 40 Hands with me. I'll do that shit. You know what I mean? I just got to find the right 40. I haven't drank a 40 in a long ass time, Mark. You have to understand, right? All right, I think I'm gonna get the hell out of this thing pretty quick here. Let me find this damn thing. All right, where we go here. I think I'm out this thing. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Ramblin' Matt Ramage. If you missed it, check it out. Ramblin' Matt on Instagram. What we got? Spotify, iTunes, all that damn shit. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Go Pack, go baby. We back next week.
You're listening to the Ramblin' Matt Ramage podcast. Let's go!
Oh yeah, I forgot to end the broadcast.